Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to finally answer the question that I've been asked so many times, which is about my spiritual practice. What is it and what do I do? Well, I meditate. Meditation is the very foundation of my spiritual practice. Now I'm sharing this with you here today, sort of just in front of my meditation spot. A dedicated place in which I meditate every day and use for nothing else but meditation and practices. So why I'm sharing this with you now is because of what's happening on the planet right now. It's become even more critical a time to turn inside and to turn toward your light and yourself. And this is also an incredible time to dive deep for so many reasons that I'll be talking about in a minute. Basically, this is a great opportunity to work with a meditation that works. Now, in the description box below, I'm going to be putting a link to a completely free meditation course that is being released by my meditation school to you right now during this shelter-in-place period within this international situation that we're in. So if you're ready to dive in right now, please just jump on in there and click on over and get that straight away. No need to wait, but if you'd like to listen to a little bit more about meditation, what meditation is and why I do it, then listen on. So, right now we are at a moment in human history where it's very unique because almost everyone has been pulled inside of their homes. Now what this is doing is it's creating a great internalization of consciousness across the whole planet. And subsequently, forces of light are able to reach us in an unprecedented manner. So why meditate? So first up, I don't meditate to relax or do creative visualizations or to think hard about a project or something I'm doing. In fact, those things would actually get in the way of you being able to go deeper in your consciousness and achieve real, deep, rich states in a meditation practice. A meditation that brings silence, a meditation that takes you beyond the ordinary mind. So then why do I meditate? Well, I meditate for a number of reasons, but before I share that, I just want to reflect a bit on where I started 25 years ago, or close to 25 years ago when I started my meditation practice. So at that time, I was a very successful corporate woman. I was, at the top of my profession. I was working for one of the top design firms in Australia. I owned my own apartment. I walked around in $1,000 suits, and on the outside it looked like I was, I ticked all the boxes of success. I looked like I'd done all the things that would make somebody happy. And yet the truth is, on the inside I was deeply unhappy, and I was also in a lot of pain. I had a lot of headaches and migraines, and I was seeking for something else. I was seeking for something more. And in fact, that really started way back in my early teens. My father died when I was in my early teens, about 14 years old. And so I, quite young, was faced with mortality. And when you're faced with mortality, you very quickly sort of ask questions like, what's this about? Why are we here? There's got to be more to this than meets the eye. There's something behind all of this. So although in some ways I was very happy with my success and happy with my career and all of that kind of thing, this calling inside, this yearning for something much deeper and richer just kept pulling me. And I spent a lot of time seeking, pretty much from that early teenage until my late 20s, I was looking for meditation. I was looking for spiritual practices that worked, and later on I realized I needed a teacher. I did try to do a lot of things on my own. I was very fervent in my search, but what I actually encountered was a lot of faux spirituality and faux practices that were really very thin, very narrow, and they weren't deep. And even back then I really could tell, this is not satisfying, this is not taking me to where I want to go inside myself and in what I was seeking. I didn't have words for it back then. I just knew I was hungry for something more and something real and something deep. At the time, I was also in a lot of physical pain. I had constant headaches and back pain and migraines, that kind of thing, that I later found were really just the outward manifestation of a lot of inner angst and struggle that actually needed to be addressed at that level. So, the thing is, my adult search really started when I was about 18 years old. I came from a pretty much atheistic family, so I actually had no religious or spiritual background or context at all with which to understand my existential dilemma. I knew that I did want a few things. I wanted to find meditation that worked. I wanted to go deep. I wanted to experience states of consciousness that were beyond my ordinary churning of my mind. I wanted peace. I wanted to have peace from the constant gnawing of this mind that never stopped, and this drive that I had, which wasn't a bad thing altogether, but this do, go, goal orientation that just kept me churning all the time. And soon enough, I realized what I really wanted was enlightenment. Now, I'm not going to go deeply into what that could mean or does mean, because it can mean a lot of things, but I wanted to know the divine, myself directly, inside myself, through myself, whatever it was going to take. I wanted to experience that inside of myself. So at the age of around 27, I did this big appeal to the divine. Okay, I need a teacher. This is not working. Me trying to work it out on my own is wasting me time, and nothing's really changing inside me. And so 6 months after that, I found my work and my spiritual teacher, which is now close to 24 years ago. And that is the work I still do to this day. So then why do I still meditate today, almost a quarter of a century later? Well, meditation is really core and central to my life. I meditate every single morning over here. And what it does is it sets the tone for my day when I'm working and I'm living in my life and running my business, etc. Sometimes I have these experiences of this descent of peace. Peace, it means so many things, but it's just this rich experience that is so deep and profound that it's like every single cell of my being just can let go, and the sort of being that comes from that. We're just so doing orientated in this world, but it just brings this state of being that it just makes everything make sense for the rest of my day. Sometimes in meditation, I experience what I call a lot of fire. So it's very fiery, an intensity of consciousness, but that's also very satisfying to me, to meet this fire that feels like something that's burning away things that aren't really me, or things that are more on the appearance level. And it's burning away the crusts and the things that are in the way of these big states that I have definitely experienced in my meditation practice. The result of meditation is that, yes, it brings this sort of sense of the inner flowing through the outer, as in these inner states that are achieved through meditation practice end up flowing into my interactions with people, my communication, my business, and of course, I've found that the more I do that, the more I'm able to give my clients and my students. The result of meditation is my creativity just gets massively ignited. I'll come out of meditation and have so many ideas. as a product of going really deep that I end up using to what has become, 5 successful companies over the last quarter of a century. And the result of meditation has been this sense of getting to know myself, or getting to know self, that's way beyond the outward appearance, and even the personalities that tend to coat how we interact with people. So it's this sense of a deep sense of being and presence and centering, a sense of coming from a center whenever I'm then doing anything else in my life. Another reason why I do this, well, my friends are all spiritual seekers and meditators. It's really my core community. They're my family. That's what matters to me. It's the most important thing in my life. And as I mentioned before, when I realized what was behind this, when I started to actually experience states in meditation, I realized that more than anything else in my life, I want enlightenment. Like anything, any great pursuit of any great measure, that takes discipline, it takes practice, it takes fervor and rigor at times. And, it came to me eventually that I will do whatever it takes to achieve these states. Now, I do a daily meditation when I'm out in my normal world and normal work life. And yet I often go away on week-long retreats. I have done month-long group and solo meditations. I've done 3-month-long silent group meditations. And so meditation can go from just a daily practice that does all these things for you all the way through to long sits and long practice. The other thing is, I think we can think of things like meditation or transformation work as very selfish or self-centered. And yet one of my main drivers and motivators is the more I transform, the more I can give and the more I can serve others. I am a very, very different human being than I was 25 years ago. And of course, there's been increments of that over time. And yet I don't even know how I could have existed if I wasn't doing this in my life, if this wasn't my daily practice. So my meditation school, the Clear Vision School, is offering a free meditation series right now for whilst we're in this shelter-in-place situation. So all you have to do is click on the link in the description box. I'll also make it available above for you, and it takes you straight to the page where they're available right there. Nothing else is going to be asked of you. It's totally free. It's totally available to you right now. This course will not only teach you how to meditate, but there are also 2 lectures by my teacher, Dr. Samuel Sagan, that will provide you some context about why meditate, how meditation has changed over time, and the kind of meditation that's relevant to us now as people in the 21st century. So I hope that you get to enjoy this. Please click on the links below, jump on over there and start learning how to meditate. Of course, I am always here for you as a resource to answer any questions. So what I'd love you to do is, after you do the meditations and listen to the talks, please make comments below here and ask me any questions. I'm here for you to answer questions about the meditation and about potentially your experiences that you have whilst you're learning this meditation. Now, I just want to be clear that even if you have meditated before or have other meditations, please, if you're curious, please try this, see if it works for you, if it feels good for you. Of course, I am always here for you. This is something that is probably the thing that is most dear to my heart and usually the most private and internal. And I'm offering this to you now through my community because of the times we're at and the opportunity at hand. So sending much, much love from my heart to yours as usual. And I look forward to hearing your experiences and answering your questions about this. Sending much love. Bye-bye for now.